This podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Is it a chill or a ghostly breeze? Or knock a tap, what do you believe? Ghosts, gossip, gather around, where the lost and the haunted are found. Ghosts, gossip, don't make a sound. Truth or tales, we'll dig it out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ghost Gossip. I am in my psychic medium era at the moment, and I have another psychic medium for you today. Her name is JJ Rose, and okay, I just want to say that I stalked you a little bit when you were on Liam's podcast, and I was like, because I listened to that episode, he messaged me, he's like, you have got to listen to this episode. She scared me. And I was like, okay. And so I listened and I was like, Liam, what scared you? Cause like, I thought you were going to tell a terrifying story. Like, I'm like sitting there like waiting. And he's like, she came into my shed.
There was also a lot that happened after that didn't make it onto the episode.
Okay.
And I think that also really freaked him out. And then a little that happened before we started recording. So, but I love that. I mean, I think it's hilarious when people find me terrifying. So
Me too. You know what? I'm not even going to lie. I prefer it.
but yeah.
When my girls tell me the people at middle school are scared of you, I'm like, good. So just to get started, tell everybody about yourself.
Ooh, okay. So there's really not a word for me anymore. So I just have a resume. So I'm just going to list this all off. My designations, my roles are metaphysical teacher, spiritual mentor, light worker, aka shadow walker, because we need more names for things now. Don't get me started on that. We can have a whole podcast on that. I am an all elemental, solitary, eclectic white witch. I'm an ordained non-denominational minister. I'm a psychic lead for a paranormal investigation group. Shout out to Scary. I'm also a makeup artist and an energetic and physical defense instructor. So I wear a lot of hats, and that's just the stuff I talk about. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't talk about. Abilities, psychic, past, present, future, precog, retrocog. Specifically, I am most called to do energy and entity clearing, which is a nice way to say exorcisms and energy work. Astral projection is my main mode of transportation, saves on gas, aka green energy. Yay, save the earth. I mean, I am a medium. I can see, speak, and hear the dead. They're not around all the time. Sorry, everybody. There are people that obviously attract them more, but I'm very a utilitarian type person. Like, if you're going to show up, there needs to be a reason. Spirits, entity, like whatever you are, make it make sense. Otherwise, don't waste my time or pay rent. Divination, energy medicine, psychometry, remote viewing, telepathy, dream precognition, dream interpretation, bibliomancy, memory retrieval, animal communication, regression and future, meditation, integration, spirit introduction, lots of spell work and energy and physical self-defense. That is like the main thing that I try to teach, is how to defend yourself against the paranormal and how to be in your own energy so that you can actually get the messages from spirit and the signs and understand what they're trying to convey to you instead of picking up everyone else's mess.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a bit.
That is so awesome. So many of the things that you mentioned, I've never heard of, like spiritual defense, like teaching spiritual defense. And I'm sure it's probably something similar as, protecting yourself in other ways, but I've never heard it worded like that. So is that, just to jump right in, just because I heard that and I was like, wait, what? Spiritual self-defense? That sounds awesome. But when you say that, what do you mean? Like from your perspective?
Okay, so it manifests in a couple different ways. There is the straight spiritual defense, which is, I call it light blasting. It's basically you just channel light from source and then throw it at whatever to make sure that it's not something dark or something that's trying to attack you. Then there's the physical spiritual defense, which I have a whole YouTube channel and a playlist on instructionals. walking people through how to do that. I call it bubbling. The video is called Bubbling 101. It's basically a way to stay in your energy, and you can still feel energy from others. You're just not, it's going through a filter. Right. So instead of you just being bombarded with everyone else's energy, you get to know what's yours and what someone else's, which I find extremely helpful, especially if you're around a lot of other people. And then there's the physical side, which is using physical energy for physical defense. So, like, I can pick up a 300-pound man and I could toss him across the room. I can do that because I'm able to unground the person and I'm super grounded. So, I gain more energy and strength. They have none. And then they become, less gravity.
Well, you physically can pick somebody up like this? Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before either. Okay. See, this is why I love having conversation. I learn through people because we talked. I have ADHD. I spiral. So this is how I learn from other people because what better way to learn than from other people's experiences, and like listening to them.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that actually works. It's it's not taught much anymore. You will see it like with the people who are able to chop the board in half with their hand type of thing. That's basically the type of energy that they're using. I personally, with my background in training, I have to be extremely careful who I quote unquote get to play with. So, in order to even like do a physical class on that, it has to be people who have certain background and training because they have to be able to handle it. But years ago, I was able to meet someone else who had a similar background, and he was so awesome. I was like, I have not sparred with anyone on my caliber in so long. And he was like, okay, after the class is done, let's go. And we had this giant room and we spent 20 minutes just throwing each other all over the place. And it was great. And it was so much fun. And, I don't get to do that as much as I like. And it's a good outlet as well. But we did hold a couple courses. We did it in a park and we were expecting younger people to come, like people who are really excited. And so we're in this park and we're throwing each other all around. And then everyone who shows up is like age 75 and over. And I'm like, oh, we're going to have to tone this way down.
We gotta bring some of the gravity back.
Yeah, but it was really fun because all of them had travel plans and they were really scared about like potentially getting mugged, or how do I, defend myself if I'm sitting at the bus stop and someone's trying to take my purse. And so it was fruitful. It was fun. And yeah, I haven't done that in a while, but I kind of miss it.
Yeah, I would love to just throw my husband around. He's like 6'1". He's got shoes on 6'2", 230 pounds. Like, I would love to just be like, because if I'm mad at him and I'm like, running my mouth like a Scorpio does, he'll just come and pick me up. And I'm like, put me down.
Yeah. So as someone who is vertically challenged, shall we say, which is my sweet way of saying that I'm short.
Yeah.
Well, my ex used to say, you're just like a cute little Pomeranian when I got mad. And I'm like, okay. And so one day I just picked him up and threw him on the bed and he was like, oh, I'm like, yeah. So
bark, bark.
Yeah.
I was going to say bark, bark, bitch, but I'm being nice.
Eyebrow. Like,
yeah. Daniel calls me cute. He's like, you look so cute when you get mad down there. And I'm like, I hate you right now. I hate you right now because I am a ball of, if he could only feel that fury inside. So how old were you when you realized that you were spiritually gifted?
I come from a long line on both sides, all the way back. I'm the last of my line. I don't have human children that I've birthed. So really, if I had come out with no talents, I would have known I was adopted. Wondered a lot over the years. Who are these people?
Did you steal me?
Yeah. Yeah. Often wondered. Humans are interesting people.
Right.
So, but yeah, so my entire life. And because of that, that's why I chose to make my YouTube channel, because I really am the last of my line. And I have all of this wonderful, great information that, for so many years I had to hide in the broom closet. We weren't allowed to talk about stuff like this with outside people. You couldn't really have a normal life if you were talking about this. Now I walk down a neighborhood in a street, wearing a shirt that says witch on it. And I love that. I love that we've come so far, but I also started seeing the stuff that was online from other people, and I thought, oh, and there's nothing wrong with watching people's growth art, but there is something I feel when you're coming from a very unhealed, uneducated place and you're trying to tell other people what to do and you're leading them down a path that could potentially be really, really destructive.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with the paranormal. I mean, listen, I get it. Everyone watches these shows and they're super excited, like, oh, I'm going to go into this house that's haunted and I'm going to start screaming and these ghosts are going to start throwing things. And I'm like, how would you feel if someone came into your house unannounced at 3 a.m. and started screaming at you to show yourself?
Mhm.
I am not going to be happy with you. I am
No.
a very nice and kind person, but you know. So just don't do
especially
that.
at 3 a.m.
Girl, you wake me up from my slumber. So,
Mhm. Those are like fighting words. You're ready to fight. You wake me up at 3, I'm going to be pissed.
yes. And that doesn't matter like how nice of a person I was before I went to bed. But, and also have respect. I mean,
Yes.
listen, I do entity removals. These are not always pleasant, right? And again, it's a nice way to say exorcisms in most cases. Sometimes they're small attachments. Sometimes they're just oogly booglies, I call them. They're just small little low level parasitic type things. They don't fight very much. But some of the bigger ones that I've had to deal with, like if you go in guns blazing, they're going to come back guns blazing. I had one hit me in the face and I had a sore jaw for 2 days. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't fun. And that was me astral traveling and it physically hurt my face. Yes. In my defense, okay. Well, not even in my defense. I own up to it. I got caught off guard. I knew the person. I knew they fully weren't ready to do it. They were kind of just going along with it. A friend of a friend said, just do it.
Right.
And I went a little lax and I literally turned my head for a moment. And that's when it, like a viper, just came and struck. But hey, you live and learn. And I'm okay owning up to that. I'm not
Right.
perfect. I mean,
Right.
I've had things where I'm like, yeah, I definitely could have handled that better. But I found if you come in with respect, which
Mhm.
there was one case that I worked on, showed up, on the inner, show up, and I see the thing, and it's obviously not great. And I said, "Hi, this person would like you to leave." And it literally shrugged and was like, okay. And I'm like, that was like super easy. And it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, honestly, like I'm not getting that much food and glad they're ready for me to go. Okay. And that was part of that person's growth arc, though. See, everyone thinks that these things act like humans. They don't. This is their job. And sometimes their job is you need to stay no matter what. So you're going to fight. And it's going to be like the movie The Exorcist. And sometimes it's like, meh, I didn't really want to be here in the first place.
Yeah, thanks for giving me permission to leave. I'm good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Like, I'm happy for them that they want me gone. That means that they've healed. Like, well, that was very friendly and odd, but love
Very
that.
thoughtful. Okay. I'm trying to think of a word. I got so much brain fog right now, but I was like, it's in its self-aware era.
Yeah. Yes. And honestly, the collective is in a self-awareness and healing era right now. I love it, but it's also very interesting to watch. A lot of people who've had a lot of spiritual activity, myself included, the spiritual stuff is like my calm, relaxing place. Like watching sci-fi or reading weird romantasy books, like with the fae and all the things happening. Those are calming because real life right now is such a dumpster fire
Mm-hmm.
that I mean, I had Hades show up 3 weeks ago. Like I was just in my kitchen chopping vegetables, minding my own business, and then
Like
Hades walks in, and I was like,
like
"Excuse
the guy Hades, like I'm thinking of the guy with the blue hair from the movie, the Hercules movie.
the deity." Yeah,
Okay, yeah, Hades.
yeah. Didn't have blue hair, but
In the movie, he has blue
hair.
hair. I watched too many cartoons having kids.
Understood. Yeah, so he walks in, he's big and he's a heavy hitter. So instantly I freak out thinking, oh, dear Lord, is someone going to die? What does this mean? Why is he here? And he doesn't talk very much. He's not super duper chatty. So I'm like, okay, well, you're here, there's the couch, I guess. Like, you're not talking to me. I don't know what we're doing. And the next day, I end up having this conversation, and it went into this part of my life that I do not really talk about very often. And I started to spiral that night and just have this moment where I was like, what? Like, it was one of those healing moments where I realized, whoa, like the fact that I'm even alive after all that is amazing, let alone the fact that I would even like entertain this again is amazing.
Gotcha.
So the
Yeah,
next day, I'm
gotcha.
driving to an appointment. I'm the only one on the road, right? So there's no one around me. I had classical music on. There's no triggers. And out of nowhere, this memory pops up of something that happened on the road. It was like forever ago, but it was very awful and traumatic, but I had completely forgotten about it. And so it plays through my head, and I just grip the wheel, and I'm like, wow, I had completely forgotten about that. And all of a sudden I look over, and Hades is in my front seat, and he just kind of laughs like, "Huh." He's like, yeah. And you lived through that and you forgot about it. You're going to be fine. And then he was gone.
So,
Super thankful.
right. Thank you. But question, curious, because I'm sure a lot of my listeners are like, wait, what? Why? How? Who? Where? All the W's and the H. What? I don't know a lot about the deities. I haven't. I'm still relatively new in my spiritual journey and spiritual growth, and I didn't know I had gifts until about 3 years ago, and then I denied them for a long time, and it's not until this year that I've gotten comfortable talking to people about them, because I'm like, I'm not special. Not me. No, no, no. But I'm finally like, after I love talking to psychic mediums because they're like, no, girl, just because your gifts are different than mine doesn't mean you're not gifted, doesn't mean you're not special. And that's very comforting to hear, you know? But Hades as a deity, what is his purpose? Like, I truly don't know, because, we're raised to hear Hades and think the devil, Satan, bad. So who is, as a deity, who is he?
Hades is a lot, and all the deities are a lot. So what you are spoon-fed, depending on your background and religion, and if you've come out of religion or still are in a religion, etc. But you really have to deep dive to figure out what quote unquote egregore they are representing and why they are showing up. So for me, he definitely was showing me, the depth, the deep, dark part of the psyche, shadow work, healing trauma, which is exactly what ended up happening, because I was not expecting that conversation to go that way and bring up
Right.
all of that stuff. And it was also something that I had been working on healing. So I got divorced last year. And so I've been working on kind of healing that, and then looking at my past relationships and being like, okay, where's my growth arc? And what do I need now? What do I need to still heal? And what have I overcome? And basically just starting to see like a karma with men, but then unraveling that, because I don't really like calling everything karma. It became self-reflection in the choices I was making, and also where I was at those times, and the purpose that it served. There were some relationships that they simply served a very brief purpose in order to help that person and also motivate me to either get out of something or move on to something else or whatever it was. And so doing this very deep shadow work, and especially about men in particular, Hades showing up made total sense in retrospect. Obviously, at the time, I had no clue why he was there. Like I said, I was not very chatty Cathy. But that really, some of them are. I've had some deities that I'm like, whoa, and
I need to get a word in.
Yes. There were a couple that I was like, can I record you? I can't type this fast, and I type really fast. So I don't deity worship. The way that I look at the deities is I appreciate and respect you the same way I would if anyone were to randomly show up, but I'm not giving you, I'm not making deals and bargains. I'm not, so but I give them respect, right? And Hades obviously is the god of the underworld, but definitely into the shadow self and the deeper part of oneself. So, like I said, in retrospect, it all makes sense. But at the time, I was just like, what are we doing?
Is he like the male version of Hecate or Hecate?
No.
Okay.
He would kind of be more like death.
Okay.
And I don't really even know who else to
Right.
Hades.
Well, I know she's like the goddess of oh,
Witches.
wait. Hmm?
Witches.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm like, what is that? But I heard something else. But she
I have her on my wall right behind me.
I love her. We had a goddess ball in my town last year, and I showed up as Hecate or Hecate. I don't know how to pronounce it. And I walk in, and all these women, the beautiful goddesses, are all in gold and white. And here I am with a cape in black, but it's very suiting. I was like,
Very Scorpio energy.
Yes.
I appreciate her. She's shown up more than a few times with me. Obviously, being a witch, that makes sense. But I'm also wolf and crow spirit animals, so are with me. And obviously, those are with her as well.
right.
I heard recently someone deep dived and did the legends of Hecate, whatever way you want to pronounce that, and Loki. And when you look at their past, they could end up being the same being, but just translated in two different ways. Because in the old lore, Loki was male and female. He would switch. We tend to refer to him as a he.
Right.
But again, you were coming from, the Norse pantheon where there were a lot more men, right? But he kind of did both.
I need to look into these more because I've heard the names are familiar, because you hear them in pop culture, like in movies or TV, or, you see them on TikTok, you see the watered down versions of them or however people have made them palatable for everybody else. But I've never like deep dove, but I know that I know this sounds weird. My husband says it's quite weird. I am like the dog lady. I can just be standing there and a random stranger's dog will literally pull them over to get to me and then refuse to leave me. And I'm like, this is weird. And my friend Jessica, who's a psychic medium, it's weird for me because it's just started happening in the past few years. Like they've always liked me,
Oh, okay.
but now it's like there's this chihuahua in Lowe's. No lie. They were walking past me and that chihuahua came right to me and that man's like, I am so sorry. And I'm like, no, it's fine. That chihuahua sat down at my feet and refused to budge. He had to pick him up. And then the other day I was in the border place for picking up my dogs and a little beautiful black lab named Nora, she saw me and she practically pulled her mom down. And I had to walk them out to the car because she could not get this lab outside. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
First of all, don't be sorry. Just say you're a dog person. And then, honestly, every dog owner I know who meets someone like us, because I have gotten on the ground and rolled around, especially with wolves and huskies. When we see each other, I had a man who freaked out because he had an actual wolf, domesticated wolf. And
Whoa, those are big.
They are. And if you've ever met one, you have to understand they're pack animals, right? So they're not super friendly most of the time. This wolf immediately starts howling, jumps on me, we hug, and then we're on the ground and we're rolling around. And my cousin is there and the owner is mortified because he thinks, oh my God, I'm going to get sued. My wolf just took her little girl down, and I'm rolling on the ground and we're growling at each other and this and that. And, the owner looks at my cousin goes, honestly, this happens everywhere she goes. Don't be concerned. She's in the time of her life right now.
That's what my husband tells people. Yeah.
So when it comes to that, though, animals see and understand energy. And there are cat people, there are dog people. I'm a little bit of everything now. I'd go pet a gator if I could,
I hear birds. Do you have birds?
Tons. So I have 3 dinosaur children. I have a bird and 2 turtles. Yes, and they're adorable. And then I feed everything outside. So I have a whole ecosystem in my yard.
And then I have a zoo outside.
I do. I have seagulls now that come. So the seagulls and the crows, they're a little testy with each other, but they keep the hawks away so the little birds are able to feed. Squirrels. I have a possum, raccoon. I was feeding a skunk for 3 months, thought it was a cat. I was like, oh, this cat is so fluffy because it only came at night, right? So I just thought it was a big fluffy cat. I was like, man, this is a big cat. And I'm on the phone with a friend one night. I'm like, oh my goodness, it has a white stripe. And they're like, oh my God, JJ, back away right now. And I'm like, why? It's a cutie.
It's so
Turn
cute.
the light on. I was like, That is a skunk, which loved it. I mean, the skunk was super sweet. I have raccoons occasionally.
You know what that reminds me of?
Well,
That commercial where she doesn't have her glasses and she's like, "Here, kitty, 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 kitty," and then she lets a raccoon in her house and she's
yeah,
like, "Let's go eat dinner," or whatever. That's what that reminds me of.
100% would do. The raccoons are super nice to me. They'll walk by. One waved at me one night. I was like, "Is this on video?"
He's like, "Sup, girl? Where where's those biscuits you've been giving me?"
Exactly. They love the cat food, by the way. And when I leave peanuts out at night, oh my God.
I want crows. I don't have crows around me. Every time I see them, I'm like, "I have peanuts." I don't, but I would buy peanuts if they would come.
You should buy them because they will come. You've met me now, so prepare for crows.
I love them. I tell my daughter sometimes when they get hurt at school, I'm like, "I'll tell the crows, it's okay." And then they kind of look at me. It's part of the keeping them a little scared of me, you know? I mean, common sense would tell you this woman doesn't have any crows, right? But 14-year-old logic in the room that I'm in, and I have a haunted doll and I talk to dead people, and they're thinking, "Oh shit, she's going to tell the crows on me."
Well, and you have your witch streak. So,
I do.
girl, your hair is amazing. Love it.
Thank you. It is not real. I mean, it is. I have a one gray streak right here. And
Yeah, that's a
so
whole streak.
to accept it, I enhanced it.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I do too. And it makes me sad because it's my poor hair. Because I'm Puerto Rican. I got dark hair. And so my hair, it takes a lot to get this light. And my hair is like, my girl's like, "I don't know how much longer we can do this." I was like, "Don't tell me that. I love it. It's my favorite hair color ever."
Do you think this is my natural color, sweetie?
I mean, I don't know. You just never know.
I bleach my hair every 5 weeks and I bleach it.
You're like, "I bleached the shit out of this hair."
Yeah. And I have, and my hair is super healthy.
How do you keep it healthy? Side note, this is a
Yeah.
cosmetology podcast now. Welcome.
So it depends on your background. So everyone's background's a little different. I learned this a long time ago. I was taking like a herb and food class, and they were saying it's important to know your heritage because things from that area will heal your body better than all the random stuff. This is why like Chinese medicine works for some people and other people not so much. Like with the herbs specifically.
Right.
Not acupuncture kind of works for everyone. And acupuncture was an everyone thing. Don't make me go into that story. Side note. So I ended up finding out about argan oil,
Mhm.
which so I'm a total mutt. Like I'm from everywhere but apparently North America. So just and Australia, random. But just throw darts at a map and I'm from there. So yes, this is not my natural color hair. But that being said, argan oil, because I do have a lot of Spanish and Moroccan in my blood and Mediterranean, that works for me amazing. And you can get it on Amazon. It's called argan hair mask.
Mhm.
I think it's Arvazilla. I'm not getting paid by them, but that's what I use.
Not yet.
and I just keep it on for the day.
Okay, I'll have to try that. I am Lebanese and Puerto Rican, but Puerto
Is she
Rican, yep. My family, my mom's mom is actually from Spain. So her family she's like, we could have dual citizenship. My mother, get dual citizenship, please.
If
So
it's
that way
allowed
I can get
before.
dual citizenship. Yeah. So she's, before 2020 happened, she was working to get dual citizenship because her grandparents were born and passed in Spain. Our family is from Spain. And then 2020 happened. So my mom kind of stopped, but I'm like, "Please do that," because I would get dual citizenship too, and so would my sister. And just being able, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but just to have it, would be nice to have an option.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's being taken away in this country. They're forcing people to pick one. I have a couple friends who are trying it right now. And
That sucks.
Mhm.
What the? Never mind.
Like I said, we live in a dumpster fire of a world right now.
You tell me about it. My girls didn't realize, well, they don't drive, but they didn't realize how much gas was. And I know where you are, it is way more than what it is here.
It's over $7 a gallon here.
Oh my God, it's almost 5 here.
Yeah, 6 to 8 a gallon, depending.
Good Lord. Yeah, I told them because they were like, "Can we eat out? Can we eat out?" I was like, "Listen, we are limiting eating out because gas is $5 a gallon." They were like, "Are you serious?" I was like, y'all are just little privileged kids just walking around not knowing a thing. But yes, it is very expensive to live and to feed 3 growing teenagers. So Ugh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, rewind, you mentioned, and I know we talked about it right out the gate, but you mentioned astral projection and remote viewing. That I have astral projected before scares the shit out of me every time it happens because I don't control it. It happens when I sleep. It's weird. It happens when I'm extremely stressed. Like it's not something that I can do. Now, sometimes it's like I can check on my friends energetically. I can feel their energy and be like, okay, how are they? And then I do that, but not seeing. So when you remote view or astral project, do you actually see what's around you? That's fascinating.
And I can interact with things too, which is super duper fun. So if I'm doing a clearing on someone,
Hmm.
right? I need to be in their energetic field. So this isn't just me remote viewing. I am like there. I
Hmm.
can interact with things. Now, I can go through drawers, I can go through paperwork and stuff like that. You're not going to physically see it move, but I can. And I know from David Don't Know podcast, I did that with him when I first met him and freaked him out because I went through his drawer and I was like, no, go on the left side under this, da 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 da. This is where it's at. And he was like, how do you even know my house? And like, I gave him the whole layout. And I do that a lot. And I know it trips people out. It's just, especially when I go over to other countries where their architecture is so much different and their
Yeah.
furniture is different. I have to explain things. Like a lot of the times in the UK, I'm like, okay, well, it's the thing that looks like this because I don't know what we even call that. I've had to Google a lot of construction items to figure out. But that being said, so energetically, I am there. I could feel things, I could see things. If I'm doing clearings, I try not to be nosy because, a lot of people will be like, oh, do I need to clean the house first? I'm like, no, don't worry. I just won't look. And so I deliberately will kind of like fuzz out the background so that I'm just focused on them. If someone, I'm great at finding people's keys. That's what my best witch always asked me to do constantly. I was like, figure out your life and find your keys better.
Can you just please keep your
Think we
keys on
have
a
it under
hanger?
control now. But yeah, and so one of the last times with her, she was getting ready to move. So there was stuff everywhere. It was chaos. And she's like, girl, like I can't find my keys. And I said, okay, well, this is where I see them at. And it was under these pallets of like, I didn't know what they were. I was like, they're cans or something, but like pallets of them. And then there's paperwork under the pallets. And if you had seen her house at the time, like she showed me pictures and I was like, it's by this table stand. That's all I could tell you. And she's like, I've looked there. It's not there. There's no way it could be there. 3 hours later,
They
oh,
were.
here's where they were.
So what is something like how do you just curious because as somebody who does it but doesn't know how to do it, but does it but doesn't know how to do it. How do you like when you're consciously doing it, how do you do you meditate? Do you do something to get into that headspace or is it just something you're like you can flip a switch and you're there?
Yeah, I flip a switch and I'm there. I have been trained to do this obviously since I was very, very little. I don't
Mhm.
even really remember the training that much. So I mean, I've had a lot of people ask me, could you do classes on this? And honestly, no. And the reason why is because there are certain things that need to happen, I feel, in order for someone to be properly ready to do it on a whim. And I also have found it comes naturally when you've done those ground steps. You don't need to really be taught how to do it. Everyone that I've worked with who is able to do it has even said, yeah, you never officially taught me how to do it. I just started doing it, right? Because you learned spiritual protection, you learned how to rein in your own energy. You learned about energetic cords, which when you mentioned being able to check in on your friends, that's how you're doing it. You're just feeling the energetic cords with them and you're able to tell how they feel. And that's a lot easier than astrally jumping, right? And because it does take a lot of energy. I have appointments that after I do them, I need to sleep for a day or two.
Mm,
Or
yeah.
I just need silence, for hours. And, one kind of event I did the other day, I mean, I interacted with over 70 people
Ugh. Oof.
and doing, mini reads, energetic adjustments, attunements, all sorts of different stuff. And I needed 2 days of silence and I ate a ridiculous amount of vegetables. That's like the main thing that I eat. So,
I
but
love
like
a good vegetable.
I don't normally get hungry that often. So for me, I was like, whoa, like I am hungry. But it's a lot of energy.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like just the only thing that I can compare it to is like when I worked, instead of doing this, when I worked and I was in the courtroom and I was exchanging energy with every single person that was coming in, or if we were doing, because I worked for the federal system for a long time, and I was doing criminal sentencings, and we had like three or four. And all their family were coming in, and I was the clerk, so I was with the judge, and so you're experiencing this exchange of energy between the defendant, the defendant's family, the lawyers, the judge. I would get home and I'm just like, I don't talk to me because as an empath too, feeling all of the emotions and these people are, when you get to federal level, you're not dealing with a month here, a month there. You're dealing with 360 months. And to watch a family member calculate 360 months in their head, and once they realize that's not 3 years, that's 30 years. And then they break apart on the courtroom floor, and you're like, and you still have a job to do, and you're trying to fight back tears because, even though this person has done wrong, they're still a person. They still have family. That family didn't do anything. And it was a lot. It was a lot.
Plus everyone who does that work. And I feel like there are a lot of people who thrive in that. And it's because they've been able to shut down that empathetic, sensitive part of themselves
Mhm.
because they have to. Like
Yeah.
doctors and surgeons, a lot of them that I know, it's them and they say, we're able to compartmentalize because we literally have to think of the body as a machine. We can either fix the machine or we're not able to.
Mhm.
And, if your microwave breaks, do you cry over it? I'm like, well, I probably would because I
At this
have.
point, yes.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing cheap here.
Right. And they're like, okay, but like think of, a charger. It either works or it doesn't. If it doesn't work, you chuck it and you go get a new charger. That's like their mental capacity
Mhm.
and how they have to think about their patients. Are they going to make it or not? So this is why I, especially with the Bubbling 101 video that I have, put that out there for the world because I wanted people like yourself, people who are so empathetic and so sensitive to other people's energies to have a fighting chance. Because I've known what I've gone through. It is really hard for me to be in a extremely public place with a ton of people around. I actually was talking about this yesterday, and my friend was talking about their kind of like dream of what they would be invited to. And I said, that sounds like a nightmare. If
That
you
sounds
asked me to
horrible.
go to a giant festival or a giant like music concert where there's 50,000 people, that's nightmare fuel for me. Or a busy mall. No, thank you.
No. I
And
was at
that's
Target.
even with all my bubbling and my protections up. But the other part is when I go into public, people naturally find me and gravitate
Right.
towards me. I mean, I've used to go to the grocery store and I would have to schedule 45 minutes to an hour to go buy three things. I had a random lady come up and say, I don't know you, but can I hug you, and start crying? And I'm like, well, of course I'm going to be there for her. She's nobody else, she's going through something. And thank God I can get food delivered now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
It
oh,
sounds
yeah.
awful.
I tell people all the time, I attract people. Even though I have a don't talk to me face, they talk to me. Life stories.
Yep. Yeah. I remember being, I think it was like 12 or 13, and we had a bus stop in front of where I lived. And I had three friends who lived on all the corners. Like we all lived in the apartments on the four corners. So
Mhm.
we could literally just go sit at the bus stop and one of them would show up. And so I'm waiting for them. And no one apparently wanted to show up, but I made a whole bunch of friends. So here I come walking through the parking lot home, asking my mom if we could have a Vietnam vet in a wheelchair with an American flag, a lady who cleaned houses, and then another homeless man, like all with me. And I was like, oh, can I stay for dinner? And she's like, you're not hanging out at the bus stop anymore.
No more bus stop for you, young lady. Okay? No, no.
Yeah. And as I've gotten older and I depending on the amount of work that I'm doing or what I'm called, sometimes I'm randomly called to do things and I have no clue why. Spirit's just like, you're doing this now. Okay. And usually something happens. But on my own and with energy and just the collective, how it feels right now, I have been finding myself kind of cloistering a little bit more and needing a lot more rejuvenation and alone time than
Me
normal.
too, actually. I've been a hermit more these past few months. I mean, since 2026, since the end of 2025 into 2026, I've been a lot more of a recluse than normal. Like, but I don't feel bad about it. Like, I don't like when I first left my job, it was an unhealthy level because I didn't know what to do anymore because I grew up within the court system. So I didn't know how to function anymore. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I am nobody. I am nobody. But I had this podcast. I started this in 2022, 2023, somewhere around there. So I was like, I'm just going to lean into that. And it truly saved me because I sunk into a deep depression. My husband's like, you have got to leave the house, like at least once a week. Get out of the house. I don't care if you just go down the road and back, like get out of the house because I was sinking. And now, like up until the new year, I was like getting out of the house. I was going shopping a few times a week. Even if I wasn't buying anything, I was going out, interacting with people, and then coming back home. And yeah, once 2026 started, I'm like, you know what? It's almost like I go outside at home and do stuff at home, but like I feel like I don't need to be out there. It's too much. It's like there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of just heaviness. And it's just like, I don't want that in my field. You know what I mean?
It's interesting. I interact with a lot of people, a lot on a daily basis. Some people repeatedly, and then some people will just kind of check in here and there. And the consensus that I'm seeing across the board right now is the majority of people like us are really going inward right now. And it's almost like we're in a semi hibernation state, definitely healing physically, mentally, energetically, like really, really, really upping those reserves. And the reason I bring this up is because if it is happening on a collective level on this, I mean, I'm talking about at least 300 people that I've interacted with that have been saying this recently. The last time this happened, it happened right before there was a major world event. And I mean, which one at this point, right? But pick one. But something that affects people in the collective on a worldwide level in a major way. And I have been getting all signs that that is also coming again, like to the point where and that's not a bad thing. Okay. It's not a bad thing. So we won't get as kicked off the internet because I'll be careful how I word this. But so 2018, I ended up getting really, really sick towards the latter part. And it got to the point where I was like, these are not normal colds and flus. Like something is wrong. And I'm very, very sensitive. Like I usually go in when I'm like 0.01 off on a lab and tell the doctor, hey, this is happening in my body. And then they'll laugh and they're like, that's barely even noticeable. I'm like, it is for me though. I know my body that well. So end of 2018, I ended up getting super duper sick, like to the point where I was like, oh, this is bad. And I go and I see a doctor. I mean, I had to be taken all the way up to infectious medicine. And they end up finding it was this super duper, I mean, I don't even know the word for it anymore. Very, very, very rare. They call it like a disease, but it's also kind of a virus thing that like lives in your body. It's dormant for a bunch of years and then it rears up for no reason. And I was like, oh, that explains a lot. But the treatment for it is severe, like 3 to 5 days a week. You're in doing IV antibiotics.
Oh my gosh.
And typically people who get this are in their 60s and 70s. So like the doctor, first thing when you're diagnosed, doctor wants to put you in a support group with other people. And I'm like, okay, because it's rare and it's weird and it changes your life a lot. And I joined the support group and like everyone is retired and they have all this time. And I'm like, the youngest person in here. And so it was interesting. And so I started doing the treatments, but the treatment, I was working at the time. I had a commute. And so I have to go in and tell my boss, hey, it's not cancer, thank Christ, right? But at the same time, like I have to do all these treatments and I don't know how I'm going to feel. I'm listening to these other people, granted, they're way older than I am, but at the same time, like I don't know, that's a lot of antibiotics. And so at that point, my boss said, hey, start of 2019, you're going to work from home. And gave me a flex schedule, which was amazing. So I started working from home a year before everyone else even had to think about it. And the cool part about that is when the world shut down in 2020, I was already used to it and I had already figured out all of like the little hiccups. So when everyone else had to do it, I was able to walk everyone through it, which was great. That being said, the energy level in 2019 leading up to the closure got to the point where I was feeling it so viscerally that I thought I've never had high blood pressure in my life. And I thought, I feel like someone with high blood pressure. This is not sustainable. This level of stress, this level of intensity, I would see people, whether they were driving, whether they were at the grocery store, it didn't matter. People were just at snapping points. And then when the world shut down, everything went quiet. And it's like people got to relax. Yes, granted, some people did not, but most people like were able to breathe for a second because no one was doing commutes all of a sudden. And, a lot of things just calmed down. And I've been feeling that energy ramp up again. The past, I want to say, let's see, it's the end of May now, like past 2-3 months, I've been feeling it slowly creeping up again. It's not as bad as last time, but it's getting there. And then kind of watching all my sensitive and empaths and spiritual people, we're all kind of going into cloister mode. I'm like, okay. And then randomly on the last full moon on May 1st, I get moon sickness. So when it's a full moon, I am very feral and listen, I don't need to take anything in order to feel inebriated because moon drunk is enough.
Well, didn't you say your spirit animal is a wolf?
Yeah. Yeah, and crow. So that's super duper fun. Yeah. So really intense day. And I decide out of nowhere I was going to clean my freezer and my pantry. And neither of these things have I wanted to do. As Virgo as I am, I wanted to keep everything shoved in there in the little Tetris Lego land that I had going on and just forget that it existed. So I pull everything out and then I realize how much stuff I had. And I thought, well, this is amazing. I never have to buy food again, first of all. And also secondly, like I am stocked for Armageddon. So
we're good. Everybody, we're
we
good.
are.
I'm good over here.
Might have freezer burn, but like it's good. So, but when I looked at that, I thought, why am I even doing this? And I've been watching certain trends of things that aren't as available. And I'm like, okay.
Great.
But I don't think it's going to be like last time. I think it's going to be in some way different, but I'm not fear mongering here at all. I'm just telling people just get ready because there is going to be some sort of massive change in the collective. And I feel it worldwide. And obviously, we've all heard the rumors of, this is going around or that's going around. I don't even know if it's going to be those. I think it might be something fiscally that causes something else.
Probably.
And maybe your interdimensional friends that people want to call aliens that are just going to make themselves way more known and show up. And I would be great with that. If they could come and clean up and fix up, that would be phenomenal.
I imagine them like slowing down and looking in and being like, oh, shit, nah, I'm good. Keep going. Go to the next one. This one's a hot mess. Not right now. She not ready. She not ready. Keep going. Don't slow down. Lock the doors. Roll the window up. What are you doing? We might get mugged here.
Well, I mean, but I have been seeing things from lower dimensions pop up as well, which is interesting.
What are those things? What is that?
I don't really even have words for them.
Are they like entities?
No, they're not negative.
Okay.
They're just from a lower dimensional space. And they suddenly love getting woken up, I think.
I hate it.
So I ended up basically one night getting woken up because something the size of a VW bug was like running over me going out my window. And I woke up screaming and it wasn't scary looking. It was trying to figure out where am I and why am I here? And then there were a couple other of them. They made the room smell weird. And, again, I'm in a paranormal investigation group. So I did all the things. Did a mouse die? Did this happen? Is the window open? All the things. Nope, none of those things. And then one of them showed up and I saw it. And I was like, it's from a lower dimensional space. That's why it smells so bad because it's like from within the earth. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And they don't, poor things. They can't help it. Right. To them, they probably smell great, but
that's what I'd say about my teenagers. They can't help it. Ugh, God love them. Ugh. Ugh,
air
a
out the
smell
house
only a
more.
mother can tolerate.
Yeah, lots of Febreze. So
So gross. They're so gross.
they are. Yes, that I do not wish to go through puberty again. But
Ever.
right. So with these things, I'm talking it over with a friend. I'm saying I'm not able to communicate with them. I don't understand what they want. They're hovering around me. And she said, "Well, there's got to be a reason. Think of it as like they're coming to you almost like mama." Like, and I said,
Oh,
so I got the idea, let me treat them like a mom would, right? Like with a baby. The baby can't necessarily talk, but they can give you little subtle things to tell you what they need. And what I got at the time was they were thrust up into our dimension and they needed the light to acclimate, almost like an oxygen mask, right? Think of scuba divers when they come up,
right.
they get the bends unless they decompress properly. So kind of like that, they needed the energetic light to help them adjust to our dimensional space. And so I ended up, because they were stinking up my room and I can't be having that. Like I have the nose of a shark. So that
I
was,
do too. I do too. It's horrible.
yeah, it is. It really, it's an issue.
Yeah.
So I ended up making a nice little space across the street for them that, no one's going to be bugged by. And I just filled it with light and they started going in there. They would be in there for a couple hours to a day, get their light, and then off they would go. And they haven't really even been around recently. So they've acclimated. So if we have things from lower dimensions coming, and I've been talking about things from higher dimensions showing up all over the place, we're in a merge space.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've all the timelines collapsing, which is super fun to wake up and find out you can microwave things metal now. Apparently that's totally cool in this timeline.
I'm still not going to do it.
I am not either. My niece ended up microwaving a dog bowl for 2 minutes, a metal one. And no one had a clue. There were no sparks, no nothing. And she pulls it out and her mom looks over and was like, "Oh my God, like what have you done?" And she's like, "I just had it in there for 2 minutes. Everything's fine." Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, one of our nephews microwaved a cell phone while videoing because he wanted to see what the inside of the microwave looked like. My poor sister-in-law, she is so patient. He blew up the microwave and then he blew up another micro. It's funny, we keep talking about microwaves. Um that's like the third time. That's weird. I haven't talked about my No, I did. I talked about a microwave last night with Daniel about the ventilation. I was like, "We've really gotta" So, of all the things, what does a microwave have to do with anything? In
Microwave
Wisconsin.
waves, solar flares, leading to interdimensional beings being able to be seen a lot better. It also messes with our internal magnetosphere.
Wow.
Our whole bodies are electric. So when solar flares happen, there's certain things that you will like. If you listen to me a lot, you'll hear me kind of drone on and on about people who are in my Discord. I harp on things and I'm like, I'm only harping on it for a reason. Solar flares I've been talking about for a couple of years because when solar flares happen, they affect your physical body and mentally. And they can cause brain fog. They can cause mania, depending on where you are and where they're hitting. Your electrolytes go off. There's higher rates of stroke and heart attacks during high times of solar flares, especially because people are not hydrated enough. And I don't mean you drink a good amount of just pure water. I mean you have proper electrolytes, potassium,
Electrolyte.
sodium, magnesium, all the things.
Yes.
And so, I don't want sugar. So I use Propel. Again, not sponsored by them, but should be at this point with how much
Good.
I buy. But that really works for me because it doesn't have a ton of sodium, whether it's Gatorade, whatever, but making sure that you have that physically in your body helps with so many things. But also remember, the more spiritually open you are, solar flares are going to activate. So typically when we're under times of high solar flares is when I get a lot of things showing up because we're able to see them through the microwave frequencies.
Was there a lot last week or were there a lot last week? Because last week I was so tired and I was like, "Daniel, I feel like I'm sick. I feel like I'm coming down with something, but I feel fine, but my body feels drained."
Yes.
Huh.
I check the NOAA, I check their website every day to see if we're under a flare or not.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to
And
start doing that.
because I'm a human seismometer, apparently.
So when they wake, so I had, you said that the thing woke you up. I had something wake me up a few months ago, and I wish I could remember what day it was. And I could look back because I did a reel about something. So I something woke me up at 3 a.m. It was unfamiliar. I have strict boundaries with my spirits that are in my house. They are allowed anywhere but our bedrooms. They cannot come in our rooms. They cannot come upstairs where the living quarters is, but they have free roam of the rest of the house. Like they come in here, they come in the bonus room. Al, the original owner of the house, passed away in the room next to us, so he hangs out in there. He'll come in here and listen. And then Berta usually stays in the living room. She is not allowed in the bedroom, but she's allowed in all the living spaces and the studio. It was 3 a.m. and something like rushed me. And I mean, I was in a dead sleep. My eyes shot open because I felt like, and I knew it was in the corner. I don't see it, but I know it's there. And I said, if you're here, make a noise. In my head, I didn't say it out loud because my husband's sleeping and I hear right on the bathroom wall. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, you're not allowed in my room. You're not allowed in my room. You got to go. So it left, but it left an icky energy, something unfamiliar. Wasn't comfortable with it. So I cleansed the room, and I usually cleanse with dragon's blood. And because I was only doing my room because my kids hate the smell and I was doing it at night, I didn't get to do the whole house or whatever. The next day, I was taking my daughter to the orthodontist, and whatever was in my room all of a sudden was in my car. My whole car was engulfed with dragon's blood sage scent. And even my daughter was like, why does the car smell like the stuff you were burning last night? And I was like, because whatever was in my room is now in the car with us. And she's like, no clue what it was. It's been a long time since something woke me up like that. And I haven't felt it since. It was very weird. It was about 2 months ago. It was very weird.
So I call those pop-ins, and it's not a dead person. It's not a ghost.
No.
It's a higher dimensional being, and it's showing up in order to relay a message with you. That's why the energy felt so weird, and also why it went through your protections. Typically, when we are asleep or just coming out of sleep, we are in a much easier receptive mode. And because you put like firm boundaries and didn't ask it questions, that's why it did the dragon's blood thing to you in the car, because it's kind of giving you a joke of like, okay, so you thought you could get rid of me? I'm just going to bring it back to you because I'm here to help you clean out.
Yeah, I just got chills. And I took it as a joke. That's how I took it, like, nana nana boo boo. I might not be in your room.
They've got tons of jokes. The stuff that they love doing to me, I'm like, okay.
They do have sense of humors.
Oh, and I have a great sense of humor. I find almost everything funny. So, but sometimes like things I shouldn't find funny.
Same. And I'm like, oh, sorry about that. I got dark sense of humor. So sorry.
Right? And okay, so I like it when they have jokes, but also at the same time, sometimes it goes a little far. Like Anansi, when he first started showing up for me, he is known as a spider deity, right? And so I started having all these spiders. Well, when I was very, very little, I had a spider in my yard, Miss Piter, very original name.
I love it.
Then I would let her crawl on me. She talked to me. She showed me how she has babies, and then actually let me pick up her little sack and put it up to the wind. And I was very sad. I was crying, and I was like, why? And she's like, because they need to be taken by the wind to go far in order to live their lives. Like, we're different than you. We don't all live together in the same place. So, here I'm like 2 or 3 years old talking. I was explaining to my parents all about how spiders work and all this stuff. They're like, okay, this is great, But I would also wake up in the middle of the night and speak ancient Sumerian and, Aramaic sleepwalking. So was not a normal child. That being said, I had a really good relationship with spiders. Yeah, I know. And then there was this.
As a parent, that would freak me the out. I'm just going to say.
Yeah. Luckily, I had the parents that I had who could handle it. My dad recorded me and took it to a linguist. And the linguist was able to suss out what, yeah. I've lived an interesting life.
So cool.
So with the spider thing, years later, my dad ran me a bath and there were bubbles, and I step in, I hear a crunch, and I clear the bubbles away. And apparently there was a bigger spider who had laid a bunch of eggs in the drain because we didn't use that bathroom all the time. And when he ran the bath, they hatched and the whole bottom was covered in spiders. And for whatever reason, that freaked me out. I mean, they weren't alive, but like,
yeah,
that for whatever reason, like cemented this trauma with spiders. So then I became extremely afraid of them and have had, a few, but thank God for vacuums and stuff like that, right? Like I couldn't kill them. I was too afraid to even get near them. I would literally call someone to come over to take care of it, type of a situation. So fast forward, Anansi shows up and these spiders start showing up in my house. And then finally he makes it known that it's him. And I said, okay, listen, if you're going to come in and obviously hang out and we've got some work to do together, that's fine, but you need to chill with the spiders. And he did, right? And so they stopped. And so what would happen is I would see a phantom spider and I would know, oh, he's trying to give me a message. So fast forward a little bit and, get busy with other things, kind of forget about it. And he was trying to reach out to me. And I'm not going to lie, there are times when I get a little hard-headed and I wasn't trying to listen. I was dealing with other stuff. So a spider.
I call that
showed up.
Tuesday.
Well, yeah, okay. Sometimes I'm knowingly like, I don't have time for this right now. And that means like everything. So he sent a couple spiders and I had ignored it. And then I go upstairs and I go to get the bird and it's daylight. Thank God. And normally she jumps right on me. And this time she's like looking down at the ground and I'm like, come here. Like, why aren't you coming to me? And she just keeps staring at the ground like something's really freaking her out. And I look and there's a giant orange tarantula walking next to my bed. Okay.
No.
So the shock sets in. I then think, thank God I had my phone in my hand, take a picture because absolutely no one is going to believe this. So I take a picture. I then am like, okay, my only course of action in this, besides calling, the SWAT team.
Burn the house down.
Yeah, and just moving at this point, going into witness protection.
It's that spider's house now. Bye-bye. Thank you.
So I grabbed the vacuum and it's got one of those really thick, wide hoses, right? Because I don't want to kill it.
Right.
And so I grabbed that and I'm talking to it. I'm even saying like, I don't want to kill you, but I need you out. Like, why are you upstairs in my bedroom? There's only 2 places to get in the bedroom and none of this makes sense. And also a tarantula, like.
Of all the things.
Yeah. So it gets in the vacuum and I put the entire vacuum outside. All of the neighbors are walking by. And then with like a Swiffer, the end of the Swiffer, I open up the canister because I was like, go run and go anywhere else other than my house. Like, I need you to leave. That thing stayed there for 2 days, just on the side of the canister. And then it came out and it was terrorizing the birds. It was huge, girl. I'm not going to lie. It was huge. It was like the size of my hand. Okay. It's big.
I don't mind spiders, but that's a big spider.
Yeah. So, I get through the stress response and I look it up because I'm like, what is this? And where did this even come from? And I find out that it is a super rare African tarantula. And it is the only type of tarantula that actually bites people. It's actually aggressive towards humans. So no one has it as a pet. It's not someone's pet. Because I started thinking, is this someone's pet? Honey, I live in Silicon Valley. I am a city girl. Like, there's not a lot of nature around me.
Right.
And also, I don't, people aren't raising tarantulas, I hope, near me. Okay. Like, can we not? So, but this is the second tarantula I've had in this house. And so anyway, so I find this girl. Yes. Yeah. So apparently he was trying to get a hold of me a long time before I even knew. That was the most dramatic. I lived alone. I was in, my little work outfit, my heels, my cute little purse. The entire baseball team is across the street from the high school. Of course, like in the middle of practice runs. So they're running towards my house and I walk in and this tarantula comes and walks in the door like super fast and just crouches there. For whatever reason, I throw the purse and tell the purse, save yourself.
All women for themselves. Go back.
On the phone with my mom, I start screaming. I'm outside them screaming and I'm like, call the police, call the fire department, call like everyone.
I need the coroner.
I'm screaming bloody murder. The entire baseball team is now staring at me because I'm quite the scene. And yeah, it was a great time. Anyway, it took me so many times sweeping this thing. As I'm sweeping out the house over the 2 little steps, it stops midway and plunks down and charges me again. And then finally I get it out. This lady's dog comes over to try and like eat it or something. She's like, "Oh, my dog will protect you." And then it flares at the dog. The dog goes running down the street. The lady's like, "Oh my God, my dog." And I'm like, this is a hot mess of insanity. So whatever year those high schoolers were, I'm probably known as the insane woman.
You know, they still meet for dinner and they're like, "You remember that one time that lady across the street when we were in high school? Yeah, that
Yeah.
was weird."
Yeah, I'm expecting one of them to show up one day with their kids for Halloween and be like, "I remember."
I remember you.
Yeah, so when I look up this giant orange tarantula and find out it's from this rare part of Africa, that's the part that Anansi mainly came from. So I had to, first of all, again say, okay, I know you were trying to get a hold of me about my car's extended warranty.
That
And
was
I was
exactly
ignoring
what I was
you.
gonna say. There, that is persistence right there.
It was, but like also that was very dramatic. And can we not with the dramatics? But I will be better and I will pay more attention. And so we don't have to have these dramatic things happen anymore because I don't want to hurt another living creature. It's just,
Right.
but also, how did you get here?
Exactly. How did you get in? And how I like and did you figure out what he was trying to tell you?
Yes.
Okay.
And also why he had to go to big extremes in order to, put that orange tarantula in my
That's funny. So somebody I interviewed a few weeks ago, she's a psychic medium from New Orleans and she works with spiders and raises spiders and scorpions and uses them in her practice. And I was just like, my father would have a heart attack.
I don't mind snakes. I don't mind roaches. I don't mind other bugs. A potato bug, I have only seen once in my entire life, and I wanted to call NASA because I thought it was an alien. Didn't realize they were that big. For whatever reason in my
You're
mind,
gonna have to Google that.
girl, prepare yourself. Okay.
Hold on. Let me do it right now.
Okay.
Let's see. Potato bug. Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
The hell it looks like a giant ant.
It's ginormous. Oh,
Where
oh,
is it?
oh,
Oh,
the
sorry.
trauma back.
Sorry. So sorry. Don't
So
look,
I had
everybody.
I had one of those in my yard and it was dead, like it had been dropped, right? So it's kind of splattered and I walk out and I mean, when I say it's big, like think of a giant russet potato. They're big. It's like that big. It's big.
Where do they come from?
I don't know. The sky, I don't know. But when I came out and I saw that, I was like, we need to call NASA. I'm pretty sure like an alien has landed or dropped. But again, like it's because I didn't know, right? So thank God I was able to Google it and be calmed. And luckily there was someone with me at the time who was like, it's just a potato bug, calm down. I was like, well, so can you think for people who haven't done a lot of background and then these spirits start showing up of how they're freaking out?
Mhm.
Right. And then someone even as experienced as me, even who gets messages pretty clearly, like one of these deities has to put, a tarantula from 9,000 miles away up in my upstairs bedroom next to my bed.
Mhm.
He'd been sending me dreams and I wasn't listening and paying attention. That's why he put it next to the bed.
Yeah. I wish they communicate with me through my dreams. And I'm like, y'all, I have an insomniac. I'm heavily medicated. Sometimes I don't remember my dreams. Can y'all send me an email or a bulletin or something, please?
So I had one recently that happened and I'm just going to share this story. Maybe this will help somebody. So I had this reading with the Water Bearers tea. Shout out to him. He is amazing. He does astrology readings and he also has channeled messages. So I have loved his work. He did a video about spiritual bypassing. I didn't even know he was an astrologer and I was like, following you, love you. Someone needs to speak on this. So I ended up booking a reading with him. And I'm just about to tell him, hey, I know I didn't sign up for a channeled reading, and he's like, excuse me, I have an amphitheater of beings who just showed up for you. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I wanted to warn you about. So I said, just put ground rules and tell them only 3. And so 3 of them came forward. They had messages and they gave me some dates. And so the first date had been May of last year. And he was like, it came in a dream. I said, okay, well, I keep a dream journal. And so I have them dated. And then I also have a Discord. So I sometimes will put them in there. So it's electronically, right? So no one can come back and be like, oh, you're lying. No. Okay.
Exactly.
I don't like that. But like,
No,
why
I don't
would
like that either.
my life is clown shoes enough. Like, why would I make anything up at this point? You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm not getting rich over here talking about this stuff. Why would I lie?
Exactly. And also, it makes me upset when people lie because then you mess up the pool for everyone who really is telling the truth, that everyone just wants to still think this is all wackadoodle. I digress.
Exactly.
So,
That's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother day.
That is a bad day, girl.
Uh-huh. That's a Patreon episode. You say the word and I'll set it up.
Well, I like it. Let's do it. So I go back in my dream journal to the exact date that he said. It was this date in May. And I look it up and I had this dream, a very specific dream. And it was a very weird dream. And I remember putting even question marks next to it saying, I don't really know what this means, but I'm in this communal bathroom and I know there's this man around. And I felt so weird, like being in showering and there's a man in there that I don't know. And so I'm keep trying to get away from him, but we end up next to each other, but there's like a tile wall and the tile is very specific. And so, okay, whatever. It was a year ago. I'm not thinking of it. So
Right.
fast forward, this full moon, as all the lunacy hits and the full moon drunk hits, I decide I'm going to take a walk under when the moon is full, which was like 10 something in the morning. And so I go to take my phone and my little headphones, and my phone starts playing this song that I've never heard before. I've never heard of the artist. It's not really even in my genre. And it's this kind of like sexy song, but the lyrics don't really make sense. And I'm like, girl, what's happening right now? So I'm pressing all my playlists, trying to play, and I would play any other song, and it kept playing this song, like on repeat. I was like, okay, you know what? I am not taking an hour and a half walk and listening to one song on repeat. I've had to do that before, and the last time it was weird.
Chinese torture, really.
Yeah. Well, Spirit has played this joke on me before. So I'm like, okay, I restart my phone. I'll use my MP3 player, right? I'm going old school. I won't take
That's
a phone.
old school, kids.
I love it. And I pick it up. I had just charged it 4 days before. It holds a charge. I pick it up, put the headphones on. It starts blinking at me that it's low battery. And I was like, okay. So while the phone's restarting, which took forever, I go and I plug in the MP3 player and I hear Spirit say, just like your devices, you also need to recharge. And I'm like, okay, well, that was very clear. Thank you. I get
Love
that
when
that's-
they're clear.
right? It's so nice.
It's so nice.
So I go back to my phone. I'm like, this is great. It's not repeating the song anymore. But for reference, I screenshotted the songs so that I could figure out what it meant or if anyone knew where this came from. Asked a whole bunch of people, hadn't heard anything. Fast forward a couple days ago, my friend comes to visit and she decides to stay for like hours. Normally she's in and out because she's just visiting, right? And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, I guess I gotta tell her all this randomness. And I'm telling her about the full moon day. And she's like, what was the name of the song? I was like, Watch Me Burn. And she goes, was it this song? And starts playing it. And I was like, you know this song? And she's like, girl, do you know who the singer is? And I'm like, no. This is why I'm telling you. It was so weird. She's like, he's an actor from this movie called 365 Days. And I stop and I'm like, 365 days from the date that happened is when I had that weird dream about the
Dream a year
bathroom.
ago.
So then I tell her about the bathroom dream. And she's like, hold up. Pulls up the movie. In the movie, the most critical part of this movie is this bathroom scene. She pulls the scene up for me, and it's the same tile that was in my dream.
And you've never seen the movie?
Never even heard of it, nor the actor. And I was like, of course, the last person I tell is the person with all the answers.
Of course it is. But what does it have to do with you?
A lot.
Okay.
That's a Patreon.
Okay. Well, you figured it out, so that's good. I hate when they send me messages and I can't figure it out.
It took a whole, like almost a whole month for me to understand, like, what was that all about? But I just thought, whatever, it's a full moon, everything's glitching. Maybe it's Spirit was telling me I need to calm down but like the song kept repeating. And the last time Spirit did that, where it started playing the song over and over, I was driving, so I'm not able to touch my phone and make it stop.
Right.
And it played 7 times.
777.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I get to my mom's and I stopped the song and I was like, okay. And it's one of those songs where like you can understand half the lyrics, but not all of them, right?
Right.
'Cause the way that they're singing it.
Uh-huh.
So I look up the lyrics and like chills.
I was going to say,
And
you just got chills.
yeah. And I read it to my mom. My mom said, holy crap, spirit is talking to you. Like, they're definitely coming through. Certified mail on that one.
Yeah.
So when those things happen, it's very, very easy to say like, oh, it's a glitch or it's an off day or this and that. And yes, obviously, things happen. But when it's so apparent, like look into the lyrics of the song, or if that random movie starts playing and you never touch the button because, the TV wasn't on and it turns on and starts playing on its own, which also happens at my house.
Happens here
Definitely
too, all the
lovely.
time. Happened today before our episode.
What was playing?
It turned, this is weird. It turned onto a completely random, almost screen saver, which I didn't know we had screensavers on our TV. And it was like a green field and water. And so my girls and I walked in. The TV, I think the dog turned the TV on though, because they were on the couch and I try to keep the remote on the table. So I think the dog might have hit the remote. But even if the dog hit the remote, that there is no screensaver button on my phone or on the remote, and the TV was off. So it's not like it was like sleeping on something, but it went to this, and all me and the girls were like, and my youngest, who's my spiritual one, my middle's my skeptic. My middle goes, Mom, Mandy turned the TV on. And I'm thinking, and Victoria, my youngest, looked at me and goes, yeah, but she didn't choose what's on the TV right now. And so I was like, don't know what it means, but it happened an hour before our interview.
That makes sense. Yesterday, I was listening to an audiobook and they used the word verdant. And I made a random joke in my head to myself because I am hilarious on my own.
Right? Same. Crack myself up all day long.
Love it. I made a joke to myself. All the good books always have the word verdant in them.
Verdant.
Which basically means like lush green nature. And you and I have been talking about microwaves and needing to relax a lot on this message.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah. They tell me all the time, slow down. What are you doing? Slow down. You're my last interview for a few weeks, so I'm slowing down. I'm slowing down. I'm burnt out. So I hear you. Yeah, I get stuff sometimes and I'm like, I know. Unless it's a premonition, there's one spot explain this to me. Why is it there's one spot in my kitchen that I get premonitions clearer than others? Like, it's just like I'll be standing there cooking and all of a sudden it's like, shoom, and I'm like, well, that was weird. Okay.
Every house has one. So portals, I don't know why people want to make them sound all like as if they're brand new. I mean, it's not like we're Stargate or anything in every house, but every home has them. Some houses have multiple, and it's usually for your spirit team, loved ones, anyone who needs in and out access. So is it when you're at the stove, it's slightly left? I think that's left. I'm trying to be you. So if I'm you, stove, hold on. Now I'm by the sink, and then to the left of the sink where the cabinet is, and the window is slightly in front, like in between those two.
So yes and no. I think so. The sink and the window are the windows. If you're watching, I'm showing you, but if you're listening, the sink in my kitchen is in front of my window. Like they're like this. I can look outside. Yeah.
But when you're slightly to the left of it and you're by the counter and the cabinet, is it there?
It's between the cabinet. It's between the cabinet and the window. And it's like okay. So it's like there's a triangle in my kitchen: window, cabinet, stove. And so it's in that, like almost like the middle of that triangle. So it's that one spot. It's where I cut things, and I'll be standing there cutting vegetables and preparing for dinner when I get them.
Like
it's
the
that
islands?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. It's that one spot in the whole house. And I also, when I'm getting ready for interviews, like my friend loves to test my abilities, but if I'm preparing to read her haunted dolls, when I'm doing my makeup, I get a lot of spiritual reading or messages in that. But I think it's because I'm thoughtless. I'm not thinking, and I'm just like focusing on my makeup, and I'm relaxing because doing my makeup relaxes me. And that spot too. But it's the kitchen. I get the premonitions. I get the visions. I get the like snapshots.
I do as well. My portal is right off of the kitchen, and luckily it's kind of a closet laundry room. Like it has, the sliding closet doors. So if I'm okay with letting whatever needs to come in, I keep that open. And when I need to tone it down, I close it or I half close it because I'm kind of letting them know. because sometimes I'll have people over and, stuff's moving all around the house and they're coming in and some people get freaked out. And I love the younger ones though, because they immediately look to me. And I had learned this a long time ago because I worked with kids for years in my younger years. And kids will always, especially the real young ones, they immediately look to an authority or a parent before they react because they are waiting for you to tell them how to react.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So, when they fall, right, they immediately look at you. If you freak out, they freak out. If you're calm, they will be calm. So I don't know, she was like 11 at the time. A neighbor girl would come over and we would do art class. And so we're sitting there, very quiet, like doing art. And then all of a sudden, like something in the living room just kind of like careens through the air. And then something else kind of moves. And she looks up, very calmly looks over and then looks at me and I go, "It's okay, honey. It's normal." She goes, "Okay." And then goes right back down to painting. And it's happened multiple times when she's around and she'll just say like, "That's okay. Like it doesn't bleed on over to my house." And I'm like, "No, your house is very protected. Like you're fine."
Mm-hmm. Yep. I tell people when they come in here, I'm like, listen, it happens a lot, but it's not the house. It's me. Like it's me. Like, so our son, he was home alone and I was just across the street. So I just walked, I didn't tell him I was leaving. My sister lives across the street. So I went to see my sister. He texts me, "Ashley, where are you?" I'm like, "I'm at TT's house. What's going on?" He goes, "The house is really active." So I come home. I'm like, rush home because I'm like, okay, what's going on? Now, my daughter's best friend passed away last summer and she's very present. She plays with my hair. She loves what I did with my hair. She was 13 and she is super connected to my daughter and I can channel her. I don't channel a lot because it wears me out and I don't trust my abilities enough to know, but I will channel her because I trust her because it's like a daughter, and I knew her and I know her energy. And my daughter and her boyfriend had broken up that day and how when Mora wants to talk, she bangs on the walls. So she was banging on the walls, all around banging on the walls. And so I come in and gets quiet and I'm like, hold up. And she just presented. She's just like, "I'm right here." But I set out my tools and we're talking and everything. And she likes to pop Isaiah on the back of the head like this. She always did that when she was alive. And Daisy's like, she never my middle has a block. She's spiritually blocked off. She's very skeptical. And she's like, she never comes to me. I'm like, "Babe, she tries. You're not aware." Like she comes to her room and she sits with her while she sleeps and Daisy freaks out. So she doesn't present as much to Daisy because she scares Daisy. But then the cat ball, I had one of the cat balls on the couch and that cat ball got hit right towards Daisy. And none of us were touching it. We were all sitting there and we were all like, and they didn't freak out. Thank God, because I was like, okay. And they were like, "I've never seen anything like that." I was like, "Me neither. Nothing, not like that." Like looking right at it and it just go, whoop. But I'm like, "Daisy, she's trying to get through to you." And she's like, "Well, why is she still here?" So I stopped and then I was able, and it was because of you. She's still here because of you. They made a promise. They made a promise they would not themselves. And Daisy's upset because she broke her promise.
Bless her.
Yeah.
I know now I'm all.
Sorry. Yep. See, warning, disclaimer. Ashley might cry. You might cry. We all might cry. It's fine.
We're all going to cry. That's fine. I had a friend who around that age, same. And I was not told when it happened. And I actually didn't find out if it wasn't for my grandpa reading the newspaper. I wasn't even told that there was going to be a funeral. And
No.
the reason why was because they didn't want the idea in my head, kind of like that whole thing. And it was also really, really traumatic. And it oddly enough kicked off a whole bunch of other people doing for years the same way, which is do not.
Yeah.
Just
Here
don't.
too.
But she would come to me in dreams. And, so I had to struggle with that. I mean, I've known her my entire life. And she would come to me in dreams. And the first dream she came to me, she was super happy. And we were at school. And so we're talking and I'm like, "Oh, what classes are you taking?" She's telling me. And then I look at her and I was like, "But wait, you're dead." And she's like, "I know, but I'm still taking classes." And so at first I was concerned, right? Because I'm thinking, oh, like, does she not know? And then I started realizing she's on the other side doing courses so that when she comes back and reincarnates, like she gets what she needed. Like, and then she stopped coming one day and I think it was another dream where she had said, I don't need to come back anymore. And what was interesting is after that, I started because, kept in touch with the family lately and realized her sister had kind of graduated to this new part in her life where she didn't need to be around. And it's very, very interesting. It also comes from a place like your daughter blocking her out. That's a defense mechanism. I
Yeah.
found so many people who do that. Everyone has gifts. Everyone on this planet has gifts,
I
whether you
completely
want to
agree.
acknowledge them or not.
Yep.
Everyone on this planet could do what I do and more if they wanted to. If
The brain is a powerful tool.
it is, you just have to learn certain groundwork and actually want to and not be scared of everything. Are there things that still upset or scare me? Occasionally, it takes a lot. And honestly, physical people are more scary than
You
spirits at this
you
point.
got that right. I'm more scared of the living than I am the dead any day of the week.
Yeah. That being said, I could understand where the average person who's just waking up, and especially like with all that in that
Mhm.
relationship, needing almost a part of being like, if she came, it might hurt too much. And I don't know if I could handle that. So there's a self-defense block. Put in and eventually it'll come off. The training wheels will come off when they need to. And that's totally fine. But I mean, with your gifts, like, first of all, don't put yourself down. You have amazing gifts if you're even able to get that far, and know as much as that you do. That I would say for anyone listening across the board, work on your self-confidence and self-esteem. You don't need to be cocky about it. You don't need to
Right.
go out and, open up your own Madame Zelda shop or anything. But I mean, you can if you want to, right? But you might want to give yourself a week to learn a couple things. That being said, just have space and allowance to allow spirit to help you along. A lot of times when people open up, it is not always a fun process. That's why I have an
Mm-mm.
entire playlist about spiritual awakenings, because a lot of times it was really rough and tumble for a lot of people. And I didn't have the official spiritual awakening like everyone else did. I had to watch others go through it. And I've seen so many at this point that I'm like, good God, I could write a book on this. But it
You should.
used to go a very specific way. There was like a handbook, right? Like chapters. And recently, I would say in the past year and a half, it's really been sped up. And in the past 3 months, it's almost like this is why I sometimes wonder, is this a timeline shift or is this just people need to? People go from completely, there's nothing to they're completely awake.
Wow.
And it's like none of the pass go and in between stuff. And then they'll have their dips and dives and stuff. So just be kind to yourself and also understand that these are already within you. All of us have the power to do this. If you come from a religious background, depending on which one, I can give you tons of research and on where it says in whatever book that you deem fit, where it talks about all of this. And if you look at the old stories, it's all in there. People like me, I mean, if you want to go to the Bible, the book of Daniel specifically is all about people like us, people who can see the dead, see energies, remote view, astral project, dream interpretation, prophesize, like all the things. So if we're so evil, then not to say there aren't evil people. And unfortunately, there are a ton of evil people who exist in this world under the guise of I'm so good because of religion or this and that and the other. And that the
Patreon
hypocrisy.
episode. Yeah,
That's like a 3-hour Patreon episode, girl, because
that
you get me heated, let me go.
I grew up Catholic, and you know, it wasn't so much growing up Catholic that pushed me away from the Catholic Church. It was more how the priest treated parishioners. Like, one of the things that got me was there was a woman, this happened years ago, and this left such a bad taste in my mouth. This is way before I was spiritually, I was this was probably almost 10 years ago. I was in church, if not longer, and this woman just had a baby, and you can tell she just wanted out of the house. Newborn baby came to church. The baby was sleeping. Baby woke up. Baby's crying. Baby started to cry. He stopped mass to yell at that woman to tell her to leave. And I remember sitting there thinking, that poor woman. And I had a judge that I worked for do something very similar. And because I'm an empath, and I didn't realize this at the time, but I could feel that embarrassment bubble come up into her throat. and she start turning hot and her heart start racing, and she was so humiliated, and she just wanted a sense of normalcy again, and he humiliated her in public. And I've been publicly humiliated by a judge before too, so I know exactly how that feels. And it was like she got up quietly and took her baby out, and I was like, I will never come back here again. And then any other church I've ever been to after that, because my husband and I, when we first got together, our kids wanted that religion. They wanted that community. And so fine, that's fine. So we shopped around for churches and we could not find one because it was all hate, 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 hate. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. If I'm not going to go to church for my children to learn hate, and I'm not saying all churches, y'all chill out. Yeah, I'm not saying all churches are bad. Not all people are bad. But there was so much of it. And I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather my children find their own way with spirituality and religion as they grow. I want to teach them how to be a good person. That's my priority. I want to teach them how to be good people. And they can figure that religion out as they get older when they're more confident in who they are and more confident in what they believe. And I want them to decide that themselves. And if that makes me a bad mother, you know what? I don't give a shit.
Indoctrination is real. And for me, any place that you're not able to ask questions and you're immediately rebuffed with, you asked a question so bad,
Yes,
that's problematic for me.
very.
I do know a lot of great churches. I know a lot of wonderful clergy people.
Mhm.
I mean, I've had dinner parties that sound like they're the start of a joke, a rabbi, a Jesuit priest, and a white witch, come to
Walking
dinner.
to a dinner.
Yeah, type of thing. And, throwing a mom in there once in a while, and it's great. So, but that being said, I have had these conversations depending on the person. They go sometimes so far. And some of that is the indoctrination. I personally am so sad that the Gnostic books are not discussed more. I'm also extremely sad that the current day Bible has been dumbed down so much. I had a friend literally learn ancient Aramaic in order to read the Bible in its original form. And when she got back from doing it, she said a ton of stuff has been mistranslated. And yeah, if you even read the Lord's Prayer and you take it from ancient Aramaic and you translate it into English, it is so much more deep than what we all verbalize today.
Mhm.
And it keeps changing. I attend different churches, whether it's for things I'm attending or just shopping around here and there. The hate ones I won't go to. I stood up in a mega church in the middle of it and left on my own.
Oh, mega churches scare me.
Well, I didn't know it was a mega church when I first went. And the pastor came right up and said, hi, I see that you're
Mhm.
new. I hope you enjoy this. And he was amazing. Wonderful man, preached love, doctrine. It was a nice place to be. And his wife, unfortunately, had cancer. So he was going to be out for a couple months while she was going through treatment, which I loved. Very family man. And they had a stand in who I thought, this is a huge opportunity for this man, right? You're standing in a beloved pastor. It's a pretty big congregation. I think it was like 1,500 people could fit. They
Wow.
had a whole band, the whole thing. And
Yeah.
I thought, okay, let's see how he's going to do. I wanted to support him. And he came out just gunning on the hate. And I watched every person, because I was somewhat more in the back, all these people start shrinking down in their seats because he's just berating everyone. And then when he got to the one part that you cross that bridge with me, I will die on that hill. I love my LGBTQ community people. I'm a huge ally. And
Mhm.
anyone who preaches that you should hate that, well, you might need to go reread your own book. So
Mhm.
the
That's
minute he
right.
said that, I stood up and I grabbed my stuff and I walked out, and I heard people like audibly gasp and clutch pearls that someone would walk out in the middle of it. And I thought,
Good
a
for
lot
you.
of you want to walk out right now too. You
Mhm.
just, you all come here all the time and I don't. I'm just randomly here by myself. But I don't get down with that. I ain't about that life.
Yeah. There was a mega church in Charlotte, North Carolina, that my ex-boyfriend took me to because he wanted to go there, and he was very weak-minded, very weak-minded. And we pulled up, and I was like, "I don't wanna go here." I feel and this is years before. Like I said, my spiritual awakening didn't happen until 2023-ish. When I bought my haunted house, was living in my haunted house. I bought that in 2022. Stuff started happening, and by 2024, I knew I was there was something more. But everything started happening in 2022 into 2023. So this was back in 2016, 2017. We pull up and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable here. I don't like it here. I want out. I don't want to go here. And we're not even inside yet. We walk in and everybody is like super nice, but not genuine. And that's how I looked at them. I was like, I was so uncomfortable. I wanted to throw up the whole time. I wanted to puke. And then as I was leaving, they hand me a Bible and coloring sheets and a shirt, and they had removed Jesus out of it, put this man's picture into it, and had coloring sheets of the man in place of Jesus for children to color. I couldn't get to the car fast enough, and I told the guy I was dating, I was like, I will never go back there again. There is something wrong with that man. There's something wrong. I saw darkness when he was on the thing. It was just dark. And it's like all these people are worshiping not God, not Jesus. They are worshiping this man, and this is not right.
And I can almost guarantee you that man either has an attachment or he's possessed, because a lot of the mega pastors are, and they're definitely playing for the other team.
Yeah, there's something. There was darkness.
Girl, I'm telling you, it is real, and the blasphemy
Mhm.
and the hypocrisy for me. Like if I had
Yeah.
a cigarette right now, I would.
Yeah, and I'm like, y'all want to judge me for talking to the dead and going into haunted places and not bothering anybody and trying to be super respectful to the living and the dead. Y'all want to judge me? That's fine. But I can honestly say when I go to sleep at night, I am authentically who I am. I am a good person and I try to give out love and light. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll cut you in a minute if I have to. But you know what I mean? Like, I am not walking around spreading hate, period.
And let us not forget, Jesus raised the dead, so he was a necromancer, if you really want to get into it. I mean, the religious part, it's where we're at right now. Like, I mean, I know I said it earlier, this world is like a flaming dumpster fire of ridiculousness.
Yes.
The hypocrisy is so insane. I also just want to say, I love how you say, okay, you didn't have like come to your abilities until then, but like even back then, you were still in your abilities. You intuited, you felt that energetically. You didn't want to be there. You knew something was off. You knew the vibes were off, as the kids say, whatever the kids are saying now. I don't know.
That's what they're saying. Something like that. The vibes are off.
Okay. So, I mean, you knew that. And so for anyone else who thinks like, oh, my abilities haven't come in or I haven't had this awakening, your abilities have always been there. They've been guiding and leading you through all these things. And honestly, at the end of the day, as long as you can sleep well, saying, I've done my best. I put up boundaries when I needed to put them up. I've been a true and good friend when needed. And I've done my absolute best. I'm not out there spreading hate. I'm trying to make the world a better place, even if it's just in your little bubble and cocoon, right? Like you're a
That's
mom. You're raising 3 adults to go out in the world and all the exponential people that they're going to touch and things that they're going to do in their lives. And your friends' kids, right? All of that is your bubble. So even if you're sitting at home thinking, I have no friends, I don't know anyone, it's just me, who am I affecting? Think of all the people, whether you're in customer service or you work with food prep people. My blessings among you, my friends.
Y'all are
Because,
angels.
yes. And also, tip well, right? If you're
Yes,
out,
take care of
tip
your
well,
people.
please. Even if it's your door dashers, because as we talked about earlier, gas is expensive. But that being said, it is really, really important. Just treat other people with respect and dignity. If someone, I have been to a restaurant before, very exciting. It was going to be a whole experience. And I got to the door, all dressed up, reservations, the whole thing. And I said, no, not eating here. Why? The chef is in a really bad place right now. I am not consuming that food. I will go home and go cook my own. And this isn't a matter of I'm really not. I mean, I'm picky eater now because I have to be because of food allergies. That's fun. My
Girl,
body.
me too.
I feel like it's something that happens when the more energetically sensitive we become, these random things start popping up because my body like naturally rejects half the stuff it talks about in Abrahamic religions not to consume.
Anything with histamine, I react to.
Yeah. which at one point I did a food allergy test and it was all food, reacted to all food.
Good luck.
Okay, true story. When I was a kid, I loved playing and I didn't like having to come in and eat food because that took away from my playtime. So I remember asking the sun if I could eat through photosynthesis because then I wouldn't have to take all these breaks in order to go inside and eat food. And then playtime was over because everyone else got tired and I didn't. And I think fast forward all these years later, it might have happened.
Careful what you ask
Just
for.
saying. So, which I mean, it's great. It's going to save me a ton on food and prep time. But like, if they could have let me know in advance, it would have been great. And also, it would explain some of the food allergies. But that being said, I don't want someone serving my food. I don't want someone touching something I'm about to consume if they've got bad energy or vibes, because that leaches into it. And then think about the energy vampires and people in bad moods. Our
Mhm.
bodies are 70 something percent water, depending,
Uh-huh.
right? And if you've ever seen, Mr. Arakaku and his whole water thing of you talk into the water and then you freeze it and the snowflakes are pretty or they're ugly, depending on the words, that happens to our bodies. So energetically, that is storing. So if you're not properly energetically clearing yourself out and protecting yourself from that,
Mhm.
it can get real dicey and gross.
Yeah. Yeah, when I go to paranormal, like, conferences or events or investigations, if I don't cleanse when I get home, I feel the paranormal hangover is real. Anybody that investigates knows you go in, you put off a lot of energy, you are around a lot of energy. When you get home, you feel like you've been on a bender. But if I don't cleanse, that feeling doesn't go away. It's like the energy, the leftovers come home with me. And it's like, okay, no, no, no. I need to call my energy back and I need to release whatever's got on me. Go, go, go. You go. And you call my energy. Come back to me. Damn it. I need my energy back. But yeah. And then after I do that, it's like a physical, you can feel it pull away. And it's crazy, but it's something that comes with experience too. Cause especially if you're in the beginning, you don't realize to do that. But then as you go and you grow, it's like, oh, you're exchanging energy with everything and everybody, and your energy gets left behind everywhere you go. Therefore, other people's energy gets left behind if they're around you too. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Just saying.
Yeah. And energy is not created or destroyed. So
Mhm.
just hang in a boot. So, cleansing, clearing, bubbling yourself is so incredibly important. I am going to give you a task should you choose to accept it.
Oh Lord, I just went into like a game show or something. Tell me.
Okay, well, since I'm your last for a while, I'm actually going to have you do my process. I'm going to have you do it every day for 9 days.
If y'all aren't watching, she looks real intense right now. I'm a little scared.
Oh, I'm going to have you do it every day, 2 to 3 times a day for 9 days. And I want to see on the other end how you feel.
Okay. Are you send it to me
Yeah,
or do you
I'm
want
going
me
to
to
send
take
it
notes?
to you. Super easy. It's my instructional bubbling 101 video. Just for the audience, if you need visuals, I don't have them on the video because my YouTube is designed for just play it. You don't have to watch me. But with this one, I do have visuals actually made thanks to the wonderful help of one of my wonderful friends who watched me suffer with Microsoft Word and was like, "There, you cannot send that out to people, honey. That looks phallic." So
You're a professional. No, no.
no, I mean, I did the best that I could, but like it looked obscene because I was trying to show the arrow coming out and it just, yeah. I love telling that story because I can laugh at myself. It's okay, right?
You should,
But
as you
yeah, no,
should.
she completely helped me out. And thanks to her, now I have beautiful visuals. So if you are a visual learner and I don't have them on the video, just shoot me a message or an email and I'll email them on over. I have the PDF. They're free. None of my stuff is behind a paywall. Yes, I do paid stuff, but all my YouTube information I put out for free. That was my gift back to society.
I love that. Well, I have one more question. I don't think I've asked many questions. We just talked. But I do have one question because I know that with what we do, whether it's paranormal or into spirituality, because there's a lot of crossover there, what is an experience that you've had that even leaves skeptics just mind blown?
I could pinpoint one. I've had so many. I have had a lot of people who were skeptics or atheists before or when they met me. and then interacted with me and aren't anymore. I'll put it that way. And listen, I am not, you know, I don't have a cult, not sign anyone up for religion. So I'm just me. Sometimes a bit of what spirit has guided me to do is I'm a little bit of a catalyst, which is why I joked with you earlier. We were going to have crows now show up because they tend to
Really
show
hope
up when
so.
you deal with me. Yeah. That being said, I have so many of these. It's kind of hard to pick one. I mean, I've had ones where I freaked people out, and I mean, God, so all these years later, I still feel bad. And I don't even remember what I said or what I
Yeah.
did. I
Yeah.
have ones with people, whether they have a podcast or a channel or social media of some aspect that they've talked about and just been like, I can't explain that. There's no way.
I'm the same way. I have a lot, and it's like, no. My story with her is the one that gets people. It gets me still to this day. It gets me. So I totally get it because when you have so much, and then when you do give messages, especially random messages that just kind of pop up and you kind of spit them out your mouth, and then people are like, "What? What did you just say?" And you're like, "What? What did I say? I don't know what I said." Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not meant for me to know, I don't retain the information. There are some where
Hmm.
I clearly remember it came through, but it's usually participatory, right? So I needed that message as much as they did. The things that come through that I have no recollection of, that was for you, not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I said it, and I don't remember what I said. But it's gone. But I said it. You heard me. You tell me what I said.
I have had, in the paranormal group, we had our skeptic and who had a ton of insane experiences. So the fact he was still a skeptic is like beyond me. But I
Right.
remember in the beginning, we would get together and we would do dinners, just kind of get to know the team, kind of just chat, see each other, catch up. And he was we were in a pretty busy restaurant. And so, but we were kind of sat away from everyone, if you
Hmm.
will. And he had asked me a question. It was one of these things that, like, he had done all of these things to make sure there was no way I could have known in advance anything. And not only did I call it, but I called something so specific about the person he was asking me about that, like, no one, like, there were only two people that knew this had even happened.
Hmm.
And then I did energy work on him and he physically flushed because usually my energy is very overwhelming. That's why when I work with people and I'm doing it, I'm like, hey, I need you sitting down. Like, I can't have you driving or walking around because I've had people get dizzy or feel like they're going to faint. And some people get cold. Some people get really, really warm. Like, with Liam, I heated up his whole shed. He didn't have the heater on and it was dead of winter in the UK.
Yeah, he was telling me about
And he
that.
was in shorts or something. And he's like, it's warm. And then when I pulled out, he's like, now it's cold again. Yeah, okay, I'm a heater. I find keys. I can warm up the place.
That's great. That's great.
Save me
I
on
love
gas. So great.
Where were you 2 years ago when I sold my house and my emerald ring from my grandmother has gone missing? And I'm pretty sure I don't think I threw it away,
You didn't
but
throw it away.
I'm pretty sure my ghost took it.
Black sock in a drawer. It's in a black sock in a weird drawer put away. And the drawer's not in a regular room.
Would it in my current house?
Mhm.
Okay. I'll look.
I don't
Start
know
digging
if
through
that's
people's
an
stuff.
attic or a basement. I don't know where I'm looking at, but it's like in a dark corner.
Yeah. So my grandmother, who's always with me, gave me her emerald ring when I graduated high school. And I had that thing until my haunted house. And when I went to when after I sold my house and we were moving, I had all my important jewelry together, all of it. And I still have all of my important jewelry together except that one piece. And I'm like, where did it go? Where did it go?
I know you have Catholic background. You ever pray to St. Anthony?
Not recently.
Just ask him to help you out. But that's where I see it.
Okay.
I
If I
think it's
find this
a
thing.
man's sock too.
I was thinking, hold on.
It's a black sock.
Okay. I know that's so funny you say. I have a white sock with coins in it. That's
No.
so funny.
No, it's a black thin sock and it's towards the toe, but the sock itself is like kind of bunched up. It's
Okay.
not folded up
It's just like somebody took it off and it got
like that. Yes.
yeah. I know what you're about.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, good to know. Black sock. I'm gonna find that thing. I'm gonna find that thing. And you know what? You're right. You're like funny. You think we're gonna talk for 75 minutes.
told you, girl.
I believed it. I told my husband and my kids, they have been so good because they are so quiet. I don't even, my son just poked his head in here like, you still growing? Because his Xbox is right over here. And I'm
Aw.
like, I kick him out. I'm like, get out. But he's like checking in. He's like, you done yet? I'm like, not done yet. And he's like, okay. And he left. But yeah, that's funny. And now my ex-husband's calling. So it's a good time to wrap it up.
Yeah. Oh, and I just had someone pop up in my window. That's fun. Yeah, upstairs window with no ledge. So that's a spirit. It's
Is it
fine.
one of mine?
It could be because like I have the blinds closed.
I was going to say, it's probably one of mine peeking in like, who are you?
See what happens when light gets on my face? Now I glow.
You glow. You're
Like
beautiful,
it's
darling.
twilight.
Beautiful. This is the skin of a monster, Bella. I'm just kidding. Not you.
I have a monster, Bella.
I watched that movie again and I was thinking, I can't believe I was in love with that man.
My God. Same. The books, girl. Do you read the books?
Yes, I did. It's a Patreon episode too. Thank you so much for talking with me. If everybody loves you and they want to just rush over and they want to learn more from you because you are just a wealth of information, where can they find you?
So if you feel called, it's JJ Rose 777 across the board. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm not on there a lot.
Hey,
I
TikTok.
have my link tree, my YouTube channel. Everything is free. I'm not monetized. There's nothing I can do about the commercials. I apologize in advance. I know they're annoying, but I don't control them. That being said, I do not ask anyone to follow me. I will not ask you to like or subscribe to anything. Literally, this is free information that's out there. I'm not selling anything. I don't push anything really that I do or my wares. I post a lot of memes and the events that I do because they're fun and I try to benefit the other vendors and stuff that are at these things. But you'll see I'm terrible at self promotion, but I am extremely friendly. And if you want a source of information that I don't have any skin in the game, right? Like I'm not profiting or benefiting from this in any way. And you find my cute little YouTube videos that you only just have to listen to, don't have to watch. Great. And
Thank you so much. This is so good.
same.
I literally, when you were on Liam's, it was Halloween last year. And that's when I like started like stalking you and following you and stuff. And then when we started interacting, I was like, okay, we gonna be friends.
You circled me like a little wolf. I was like, I see you, wolf girl.
I
Okay.
did. I sure did. So where I've gotten to, because people in the paranormal community and the spiritual, not so much the spiritual, the paranormal, one of the things like my friend said, they can move in a weird way. And that makes complete sense. And so I try to get a feel for people before I reach out now because I've been burned a few times. And so it's like, I want to interact with them to see how we interact together because my podcast is my baby and not everybody deserves this part of me. You know what I mean? Because it is energy. We are exchanging energy. We are communicating. And the thing is, when I interview people, you have an ally for life. Like unless you turn out to be a giant jackass, I'm going to like build you up. I'm going to push you out. I'm going to support you. I'm going to be here. If you want to talk paranormal, if you just want to talk girl stuff like what we talked about, I am here for it. I'm like friend for life over here. So I like to get to know people and kind of see how they move before I'm like, that's the Scorpio in me too.
I get it. I think that's wise. I think a lot of people hear someone for 5 minutes and they want to have them on and then things go 6 ways from Sunday. And that's fine, right?
Mhm.
But I also appreciate that. I knew you were scoping me and you were circling me and I was like, she wants to reach out to me. And I didn't even know you wanted me on your show. I just thought, I was like, she wants to reach out to me, but she's just not there yet. It'll happen when it happens.
Mhm. Yep. It did too. Because then I talked to Liam, and then we started talking about you. He's like, "You really need to reach out to her." And I was like, "You think so?" And he's like, "Yes, you do." He goes, "I would love that episode. I would love to listen to that." So, hi, Liam.
Yeah,
We love you, Liam.
we do. I adore him and I love freaking him out from time to time, even though I don't mean to, but like he gets so freaked out and it makes me giggle. So thank you for the small joys of life.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Go check out JJ, follow her, watch her stuff, reach out to her. She's such a joy to talk to. White light, just guys, just do it. I'm watching you just do it now. And while you're there, Make sure you're following me, Ghost Gossip Pod, Ghost Gossip Podcast, and send all your ghost gossip to ghostgossip247@gmail.com. Until next time, they'll see you later.